Hello and welcome to my vegan gluten-free kimchi recipe video. This is my first time making a recipe video and a narration, so please bear with me and also try to bear with the terrible mic quality. I'm just using the mic on my iMac currently. I do have a proper microphone, but unfortunately I have to change the AC adapter because the plug is an American plug and the voltages are all different, so I need to get a new one. And regarding the recipe, you can adjust any of the ingredients depending on what you have on hand or how much you have of it. It's very flexible. I literally change this recipe. Tastes different every time I do it just because I just use what I have in the fridge. So don't be scared to try that out. So I really hope you enjoy this video and let's get started with the ingredients. So you will need 1 medium Chinese leaf lettuce or Napa cabbage, 3 to 5 spring onions or scallions, a cucumber, 2 to 3 carrots, 3 cloves of garlic and a big piece of ginger, 3 tablespoons of Korean chili flakes or gochugaru. If you can't find these, there is a link in the description to the recipe that I use, and there is actually an alternative in there as well. About 1/4 cup of sea salt, 1/3 of a cup of coconut sugar, or instead of that you can use 3/4 of an apple. So tools you'll need. A really big bowl if you have one, if not just split it into a few different bowls. A spiralizer, this one is optional but this is just because I take absolutely forever to chop anything and this is really handy. Either a blender or a food processor. Whichever one you have will be fine. So onto the chopping. So first you'll want to cut right here, like a little gap in between the leaves. Just slice right down there. And then what you can do is you can just tear it open from there so the leaves sort of separate naturally. This is totally optional, by the way, you can just chop it with a knife, but I just prefer to do it this way. And then chop again and just tear apart. Just save some knife work and potentially some ends of fingers in my case. So now you just want to cut off the end down here. There are different types of kimchi preparations where you do keep this on, but this is not one of those recipes. So, and then what you can do is just tear the little pieces into small sort of bite-sized pieces and then chop the rest like so. When you're done, just dump it all into your bowl or bowls. And then you'll just need some filtered water. It has to be filtered because if it isn't, some of the chemicals and minerals in the tap water can actually prohibit the fermentation process. And that it goes the same for sea salt. It can't be table salt. So place your salt and some water in a bowl and dissolve it. Next you want to pour your salty water into your cabbage bowl and then just fill it up until it's covered. And give it a stir for good measure. And what I do to keep all my cabbage evenly submerged so it starts to brine evenly is place a heavy bowl or set of bowls on top. So now onto slicing the vegetables. This is where I'm going to use my spiralizer. If you don't have one, feel free to just do it by hand. And I'm just peeling some of my vegetables here because they aren't organic. You don't really want to be eating fermented pesticides. So if they're not organic like mine aren't, then just peel the outsides. I don't know if it does anything, it just makes me feel better. here I'm just chopping my cucumber into smaller pieces so that my spiralizer doesn't freak out. I'm chopping my spring onions. You can chop these all fancy and diagonally, but I'm not the world's best chopper, so I just cut them cut them into smaller pieces. And if you are using a spiralizer, you can tear them like I did. I just chop these little end bits up and put those in as well. And then the carrots. I actually only use 2 of the carrots. I use another of the carrots to make the paste later, and I think I use a part of a cucumber as well. And there you go, all my veggies are chopped up. After half an hour, you'll want to turn your cabbage or lettuce just so it brines evenly. So I'd turn it every half hour. Next half hour I'm turning it again. You'll know that it's finished when it's kind of bendy, but when you snap it, it still sort of has a nice snap sound to it. It's not overly wilted. And now to make the kimchi paste. So here I have a big piece of ginger, about I think a whole carrot, and like a third of the cucumber, and I just use that to make my paste this time. I'm also popping in a little bit of about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. This is optional, you don't need to do this. I find this just adds a little bit of depth of flavour. You can also add a little bit of water to this if you think it needs it. Again, make sure it's filtered, because I felt that mine did. I had to stop and start it a few times in order to get a sort of paste consistency. And this doesn't have to be silky smooth by any stretch of the imagination. I have rinsed my cabbage. I didn't think you'd need to see that, but I've rinsed off so it won't taste salty. And then in with my fresh veggies. And now in with the paste. If you haven't done kimchi before, you have quite sensitive skin, then I'd definitely recommend wearing gloves when you do this because it is very spicy. Of course the spice can also be adjusted to your taste. Mine came out very, very spicy, so just bear that in mind. I would recommend wearing gloves anyway because I do not want my hands to be stained orange and this stuff stains. So I'm just popping it into my jar here, and as you sort of do one layer, you will want to press it down like this to remove any extra air bubbles, because we don't want excess air in there to prevent bad bacteria from getting trapped. And you're done! I will also leave some resources in the description box below. These are some of the kimchi videos I looked at before I started making my own, and I feel like it really helped to see different techniques and different people do different things. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you liked it, please give it a like and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.